Hello, welcome to everyone in this video. Want to discuss about the question asked previous year question asked in the West Bengal State University in 2019 of the paper CC3, that is the electricity and magnetism consist, right, for the BSc second semester. Okay, if you wants to the year 2020 of this paper of this university of this semester, you can go through this description box. You will get the link. You can watch this also. Okay, and there is a playlist, another playlist for electricity magnetism theory, and also another playlist for the problem solution of this portion, that is the electrodynamics by DJ Griffith and the electrostatic magnetism by Vasudev Ghosh problem also solution in this playlist. So if you want to go through the description box, you will be get separate playlist. Okay, so let's start today's question. Look at this question at a glance. That is the question number 1A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I request all of you at the first you try to solve this question. If there is any problem, then go to this video to watch the solution. Okay, so at the first you try to solve this question. Take the screenshot and solve this question. Next, H, I, J, K, L, M, then N. This is 2A, B, C, 3A, B, C, 4A, B, C, D, 5A, B, and C. This is all the question. I think you try to solve this question. After that, you watch this video to watch the difficulty or the solution of these questions, right? So let's start the solution. So that this delta Ax equals to delta x by mod A, where delta denote the Dirac delta function. Okay, you know, for any arbitrary function the Dirac delta function, this can be written as like that. If you take this Ax equals to z, so dx equals to like that. If a greater than 0, this Ax limit and z limit is like that, but if a less than 0, this will be opposite. Okay, so that's why we take this positive plus minus, because in case of a greater than 0, this is plus, fine, but in case of a less than 0, limit will be changed. That's why you will be get there is minus in if you write the minus infinity to plus infinity, right? So in case of a less than 0, the limit changes from plus infinity to minus infinity. If you opposite, there will be minus, right? So this is nothing but 1 by a, and this can be written as f of 0, because we have this property of the Dirac delta function. You know the Dirac delta function, we already take a class for theoretical. You can watch this property written where this is the property of Dirac delta function. You can see here this z minus is 0, that's why this is written as f of 0, because there's a delta x minus x0, then f of x0, right? So this is f of 0, and this plus minus can be taken as a mod f of 0, and this can be also written as this from, no problem. This, if you take this consideration, this can be written as like that from. So finally we will be get this equation, that is the delta x equal to like that. Clear? Go to the next one. The electrostatic field at every point in a given region in space is along x-axis. So the electrostatic field only along the x direction, y direction, and z direction is 0. So that electric field independent on y and z in this region. So this, taking this electrostatic field along the x direction only. You know, for electrostatic field the curl of E is 0. So find the curl, that is Ex only present and other are 0. So in case of x cap, this 0 minus 0. In case of y cap, del Ex by del z minus 0, and in case of del z cap, del Ex minus Ey. So you can see here the coefficient of y cap is 0, coefficient of z cap is 0. So the Ex with respect to z is 0, that means Ex is independent on z, and Ex with respect to y is 0, that means Ey is independent of y. So Ex is independent of y and z. Clear? Next question, if there is any doubt you must comment in the comment box. Next question, can this electric field represent electrostatic field? You just so that see that the curl of electrostatic field will be 0, so we need to find out the curl of E. Since this is not equal to 0, so this E not a electrostatic field. Clear? Next question, Establish Poisson's equation from Gauss theorem. You know this is Gauss theorem, which says that the total flux within a enclosed sphere is nothing but q enclosed by epsilon naught, and this is nothing but divergence E dv, and this is can be written as rho dv. This is the divergence theorem. You know this divergence theorem. So if you compare these two types, divergence equal to rho by epsilon naught, and E electric field related to the potential will like that minus divergence grad v. So if you put this is nothing but grad square v. So grad square v equal to minus rho by epsilon naught. This is nothing but the Poisson's equation. Next question. The interior of circular cylinder is occupied a polarized material of like that. Find the volume and surface charge density. You know the volume charge density is related with the polarization like that minus divergence P. So this is find out the divergence of this P. You will be get this answer. This is the volume polarization charge density. In case of surface polarization charge density, sigma into n cap. So you need to find out the n cap of the cylindrical coordinate. That's why we take this phi equal to like that grad phi and mod of grad phi. So n cap is like that. You I think you know this formula to find out the n cap of the surface, because we already discussed in the vector analysis in detail. There is a total solution of Emma Spiegel book. You can go through the description box, link given in the description box. Okay, so this is the n cap, that is the perpendicular to the surface. This n cap like that you can write here. This is the n cap. Okay, so you will be get this n cap. After that you can find out this surface charge density, induced surface charge density P dot n cap. So this is P and this is n cap. After multiplying just dot product, you will be get this answer. Clear? Next question. State the boundary condition at the surface separation of two dielectric medium epsilon and epsilon 2. So this is the two medium epsilon, the dielectric medium epsilon 1 and dielectric medium epsilon 2. The condition says that perpendicular of displacement vector is discontinuous by this charge density, surface charge density. That's mean the perpendicular part of this displacement vector is nothing but epsilon into electric field. E is electric field and this is epsilon. So if you take this as a cylinder, you will be get this from this formula. We do not prove this formula, we just write down this formula. You can prove from this Gauss theorem, that is the taking the cylinder as a Gauss surface, you will be get this formula very easily. So I write down this formula, that is the normal component of displacement vector are discontinuous across the boundary by the surface charge density, and the tangent component of the electric is continuous across the boundary. Tangent component of the electric is continuous across the boundary. Okay, so the tangent component of the electric is continuous across the boundary. This is another. So these two are boundary condition. Next, so that dipole moment is independent of choice of origin of total charge distribution is 0. So if total charge distribution is 0, then the dipole moment is independent of choice of origin. So if you take, there is two origin, this is O and this is O prime. So we need to find out the dipole moment at this P point. So you can vectorically written as R double prime. This separation is nothing but R prime minus D. So the dipole moment with respect to this origin, this P equal to this r prime rho dv. Put the value of r prime, will be get this one, and this is nothing but the dipole moment with respect to O prime, and this is total charge. If total charge is 0, then P equals to P prime, that is dipole moment is independent of choice of origin. Simple. Next question. For a uniform magnetic field, check the possibility of vector potential this. You know the B equals to curl of A. So if you find this curl of A equals to B, then this can be written as the magnetic field. Okay. So curl of A, so curl of this half the constant curl of this. You know the vector identity. This can be written as this fourth term. Here you can say this divergence B is 0 and divergence this B equals to uniform, because this is uniform and this also 0, this two term 0, and divergence R is 3, no problem. So find out this term is nothing but B can be written as I cap bx plus j cap by plus k cap bz. With dot this gradient function, you will be get this one, and r curves like that. So if you derivative partial derivative with respect to take x, you will be get I cap only, from there you will be get j cap, from there you will be get k cap. So finally you will get this B vector. So curl of A is nothing but this, that is B vector, hence this is the possible vector potential. Since this we obtain B, so this is a possible vector potential. Next question. Sketch graphically how the current glow with the series RL circuit. So this is series RL circuit. If you want to write down the potential with the Kirchhoff voltage law, that is the second law. That is IR, voltage across the resistance, and this is voltage across the inductance equal to 2 total EMF. So this can be rearranging and just integrate. I can see you can do this. So this is the sorry, so this is the current expression. You can see that I equals to 0, t equal to 0, so finally you get this expression. Okay, so here is if you wants to find that I equals to t equals to 0, this becomes 0, and after t tends to infinity this become I0. So t equals to 0, this equals to 0, and t tends to infinity, this becomes to saturation value. So this is the nature of this curve for the charge of LR circuit. Next question. State the Norton theorem. This is nothing but for a two terminal point there is can be represented as a voltage current source with parallel to the resistance, where the current can be measured by sorting this two terminal current flow through this terminal, and the resistance can be measured this open and the equivalent resistance when they placed the voltage source with their internal resistance. With the source is replaced by their internal resistance. For ideal voltage source the internal resistance 0, for ideal current source internal resistance infinity. Next, a loop is situated in air with a uniform magnetic field normal to the plane. The area of this loop, what is the EMF terminal of this flux? So the area equals to like the rate change of the flux dv dt equals to like that. So induced EMF equal to d phi dt. So dt of BA A into dv, find the 10 volt. Next question. What is the sharpness of resonance? Actually sharpness of resonance is the measurement of the how they are selected to the resonant frequency, right? The rate fall of response of departure from the maximum value of two frequency given the measure the sharpness. That is now how they fall, this is the sharpness. This fall can be broadly or this can be sharply means this fall is faster, right? And this can be measured by this quality factor. This is resonant frequency, that frequency where the maximum value you obtain, and the bandwidth the half maximum frequency difference. Okay, so the quality factor if increase, then mean delta omega is decreased, that means is a sharp. Okay, the curve will be sharp, that is the sharpness. So sharpness is proportional to the quality factor. Actually sharpness measured by this quality factor. Next, if an interior of paramagnet magnet H and B fields are opposite to each other, which part of it is? You can see here this is the B and H is proportional, but in that region this B and H are opposite region, and that region B and H are opposite region. So the state change during this, that is the retentivity. You know this is retentivity and this is coercivity. So in this region retentivity to coercivity is actually B and H are opposite direction. Next, a long solenoid of length L carrying current I is moving with a uniform velocity v towards a ring A slightly larger than that of solenoid. It can be passes through this ring. Graph the induced EMF. You can see the within this solenoid the magnetic field will be like that, and outside the solenoid magnetic field will be changed with like that. So if you move with this region, so magnetic field will be increases, that is the induced EMF will be increases linearly. But when it passes through this loop, you can see the magnetic field within this region is uniform, so the induced EMF will be 0, because induced EMF is nothing but the change of the flux. If the magnetic field is constant and the area also constant, that's why the induced EMF is 0. So in that case when this will be processed through this loop, the induced EMF is 0. So in this portion, that is the time is L by V, because there is V is velocity, L is distance. So in this time the potential will be 0, and after that you know when it's towards this the direction of EMF will be opposite when the left from this. Okay, Lenge's law, that's why this is the opposite, and after that it move towards the far away, the magnetic flux will be reduces, that's why the EMF also reduces, and finally you got 0. I think clear about this diagram. Go to the next one. This question says using Gauss law, find the electric field at a distance z from a state infinite charge uniform density. You know this thing very well because in theoretical class we already discussed. You take a point P and this consider this surface Gauss surface. You can see here for the plane surface this electric field and surface are perpendicular. That's why the flux will be zero. In case of the curved surface, the flux will be present and this is nothing but 2 pi z L. We take this as a z, so 2 pi z L. So finally you get this is electric field and the potential is nothing but this one. You can see here that z equals to infinity, this is the diverse, that's why we can take not v0 at z is infinity, we take the v0 at z equals to a at any point. So this corresponding constant value constant will be like that, so the potential will be like that, where a is a distance or point where the potential is zero. Clear? Next question. A static charge distribution given here, you need to find out the charge density and the total charge. Charge density is nothing but epsilon or divergence of E. So you find out the divergence of this, you will be get this expression. Do this calculation. If there is any problem, you must comment in the comment box. After that, total charge is nothing but rho into d tau. We find out this rho and d tau is 4 pi r square dr, because there is no theta and phi dependency. We take this 4 r square. Actually integrate this theta and phi, will be get this 4 r square r 4 pi r square dr. So that we just integrate this one by bypass method. You can see here at infinity this is 0 and 0 this is 1. In case of that you can infinity to the power infinity is 0 and r equal to 0 to 0. So in that case these two are equal 0. That means when put the r equals to infinity, this is infinity but this is exponent part is prominent, so that's why e to the power minus infinity is 0, that's why this is total 0. But in case of 0 this will be 0, so 0 into this equals to again 0. In case of this also put this value, will be finally get the total charge is 0. Clear? For any query into at any portion, or if there if you ask this there is any error, you must comment in the comment box. Next, consider an assembly of n fixed point charges are in a vacuum, especially Qi is 0. So Ex is electric field produce these charges. Can we find a point in the space test charge with stable equilibrium? No, there can be no stable equilibrium because this theorem also theorem says that there is a freely movable charge cannot exist in stable equilibrium space under the influence of electrostatic field. Just think about the one thing, so that is we take we find a point where the net force is 0 in this electrostatic field, but if we displace this it slightly, then it change this position and the net force is not 0, then we will be become freely. Okay, that's mean it cannot back to this position. If for this stable equilibrium, you know, that is if we change this position is back to its previous position. But in this case, in the free charge, in the electrostatic, you know, this is not a fixed at that point. If you displace, the force will be changed and that will be ejected from this region. Clear? That's why we can say there is no possible to stable equilibrium in this electrostatic field. You get the unstable equilibrium actually. Next question. Using the Biot-Savart law for the volume charge distribution, so the magnetic flux is sinusoidal. We already discussed this question in the previous solution. You can see the magnetic field in the volume charge density. Just taking the divergence, you will be get this curl of j equals to 0, and this is nothing but written in two term. Curl of r 0 and r cross r also 0. So finally you get this equal to 0. Curl of j is 0 because the volume charge density, uniform volume charge density, that's why curl of j is 0. Next question. Find the magnetic field at a distance z along the axis of circular ring of radius a. This is radius a and this is a circular ring with current I. A very small circular loop r placed at a distance z from the angle with the angle theta. So you need to find out at first the magnetic field at a distance z. So for that you can take a small dl. So in this region the magnetic field will be like that, and you can see the r and dl direction is perpendicular, that's why there is a sine 90 which is 1. And you can see the component will be like this is the db, and have these two component dB cos theta, dB sin theta. Similarly for this region dB cos theta, dB sin theta. So dB cos theta are cancelled out, only sin theta component are present. That's why you need to integrate with the dB sin theta. dB is nothing but mu 0 I by 4 pi and dl r square, and this is sin theta. So just change this value with the sin theta. Sin theta equal to height by hypotenuse, height by hypotenuse, right? So here you can see the a z are all constant, only variable is dl. The integration of dl is nothing but 2 pi a, the periphery of this loop. Okay, so putting this value you will be get this magnetic field at that region. Now consider a small loop at this region. So the flux will be the b dot a, right? Flux is nothing but b dot a. You know the flux is nothing but b dot a, that is ba cos theta, ba ba cos theta. So b is we already find out, and a is pi r square, this is pi r square, and this is the cos theta. Clear? So this is the expression. And you know the mutual inductance m equals to phi by I, actually phi equals to mi, so m equals to phi by I. So if you divided by I, you will be get the mutual inductance of these two coils. Next question. Consider a magnetized material of magnetization m, so that the magnetic vector potential equivalent to the J equals to curl of n and K equals to surface current density m cross n. So if you consider this is an magnetized material with a small volume, where the dipole moment small m is along that direction, and this is the position. So the vector potential is nothing but this mu naught by 4 pi m cross curly r by r square. So put if you take this m with the capital M, that is the magnetization, small m is dipole moment, small m is dipole moment, small m is dipole moment, and capital M is the magnetization, magnetization, and these two are related with this relation, that is m is nothing but magnetization is dipole moment per volume, so the total will be m uh, 4 pi r square dr, like that. Okay, m integration m deta, simple. So put this value of small m, you can see here m d tau. So this can be written as in this form. After that, this is the vector identity. After that, you can written in this form. You can see here, here we actually taking this from, because of this vector identity, curl of phi equals to like that. So a cross b, here this is a, this is grad phi, this is actually you know this is nothing but the r grad prime 1 by r, this is nothing but the r prime grad prime 1 by r. So after that, if you will using these tricks, you can separate into two form, and this is does transform in this Stokes theorem. You can transform this Stokes theorem using this Stokes theorem. So you write down this as a j and this as a k, because this is a current density, volume current density, this is volume, so this is a volume current density, and this is area, this is the surface current density, right? So this volume current density is nothing but curl of m, m is magnetization, and this surface current density is nothing but the m cross n. Whereas you know this volume charge density in case of electric field was divergence of p, and the surface charge density was the p dot n, like that. Clear? Next question. A thin circular ring of radius a has a uniform line charge density lambda on it. Calculate the field and potential of the point P of the ring in this plane. So where is Z is maximum? So you can see this the potential due to this small region equal to that total potential will be this. So the electric field minus grad P will be derivative with respect to Z. Only Z is the variable. You will be get this expression. This is the electric field. Now you need to find out the maximum value, so the derivative with respect to z will be 0. So if you take this derivative, you will be get this expression, that is z equals to plus minus a by root 2 is the point where this electric field will be maximum. This is x equals to a by root 2 and this is x equals to minus a by root 2. At that point these two are equal, and you can see here at z equals to 0, this is 0, that's why we start from 0 and maximum at these 2 point, and finally z infinity again 0. Z infinity, if you put the z infinity, this in the divided form will be get again 0. Next portion. Next question. So that energy of dipole of electrostatic field will be like that. If you take the dipole at minus q and plus q with the position r, and this is L, so the r plus L. So the energy will be charge into potential. So this charge with the potential, we charge with this potential. If you expand this in the Fourier series, you will be get that this one. So finally you get this one, and grad phi will nothing but the minus e. Clear? So you will be p dot e minus p dot e. Next question. A charge plus q placed in the form of earthen infinite conducting sphere, so that the net charge will be minus q. So this is a earthen conducting sphere, take plus q charge. We take at a minus d distance, this will be minus q prime. If you take this is a d prime, this is a d prime, and then if you compare, you will be get d equals to d prime, and this q equals to minus q prime. That's mean the charge induced is, total charge induced is nothing but this minus q prime, minus q total charge induced. Next question. So that the electric field produced by a uniform polarized sphere outside the same as the point dipole of the origin with the dipole moment equal to the net dipole moment of the sphere. Think, at first you understand the question. So that the electric field produced by a uniformly polarized pair, that means there will be uniformly polarized pair, there will be uniformly polarized pair. You need to find out the electric field at the outside of this uniformly polarized pair, right, which is equal to the uh, electric field for the dipole when the dipole is placed at the origin due to this pair. That's mean I think you can understand my concept. That is, this is a polarized sphere. You need to find out the electric field here outside this point. This is equals to, if you take the dipole of the sphere and placed at that region, placed at that region, in this region, placed at the dipole at that region, will be the same, you will be get the same expression for the electric field. So if you take in case of the sphere, the electric field is equal to, if you take the dipole due to the sphere at the center, we will get the same value. So we can prove that, that is the surface charge density, volume charge density of divergence p equals to 0, because this is uniform polarized sphere, and sigma, that is the surface charge density p dot n cap, that is the p cos theta. If you take this p as along the k direction in the same uniform, since this is uniform, we can take this k direction. So at theta equals to 0, sigma equals to p, and theta equal to 0. So theta equals to 0, that surface charge density will be the p, and theta 0 to pi, this is positive, and theta pi by 2 to pi in this region, this will be negative. So finally we will be get this. So the charge distribution is like that. In this positive maximum, this negative maximum, this positive is reduces, and the half cycle will be positive and the half cycle will be negative. This is the actually scenario for this. This is the actual scenario for this charge density of the sphere. Clear? And now if we take a concept, that is, if you superimpose two equal if you take a positive charge density rho 0 of the sphere, and if you take another sphere with the positive charge density minus rho 0, and if you superimposed concentric, that is their center will be same, then this total charge density is 0 everywhere. But if you display slightly, you can see here there is a positive charge density, and this is maximum, and this reduces, and there is a negative charge density, there will be maximum, and this reduces, and the interior in this region, this will be 0. That's mean there is a surface charge density like that. With the similar fashion we just discuss here, with the similar fashion we just discuss here. So you can see this is nothing but a dipole, because this positive charge distribution is like here, and negative charge distribution center will be like. So there is some small separation of between the positive charge and the negative charge. So this may make a dipole, and with this dipole you can see that is due to this due to this surface charge density actually make a dipole. Okay, and if you wants to find out this dipole moment, you can easily find out this dipole moment. You know this process to find the dipole moment will be get this dipole moment. And if you wants to dipole moment from this concept, that we take this as a two charge density, that is so q into d. Q is charge density into volume into d, and d is nothing but the unit vector along the k-axis. So you can see these two are the same as we obtain from this total distribution, and if you take this superposition of these two pair. Okay, so finally you can take the electric field will be like that. So you can write down up to that 2 was the expression. You can find out this one, but in the answer of this question actually up to that portion. Okay, I think clear. If there is any doubt, you must comment in the comment box. Next question. Now, this is discussed. Now the question says, what is the characteristics of the constant current source and constant voltage source? Constant current source mean the source always supply a constant current. That's mean if we change the load resistance, there will be no affected on the outflow of this current. There will change will be EMF, that is the voltage can be changed, but the current of the output for the source is nothing, does not changes. Okay, that is the and the internal resistance of this current source is the infinity. That is the characteristics. I think clear. They supply the constant current with change of the load there will be no effect, and the another one is the infinite internal resistance. And next is the constant voltage. That means the it supply the constant voltage. If we change the load resistance, there will be no effect, and their internal resistance will be zero. I think clear. Go to the next one. A parallel LCR circuit shown in this figure. This is capacitor. So that the impedance of the circuit will be less. So you need to find out the resonant frequency and then find out the impedance of the circuit. We already discussed in the previous discussion, that is question asked in 2020. Just write down the same things here. It was this video. You can understand very well. If you take this I total current, this is total current actually. This total current I is nothing but this I L plus IC. So in vector form you can write down here, and in case of L circuit, so this is the Kirchhoff voltage law. You will be get the IL current through this inductor. In case of this capacitor branch, the potential will be like that. Finally you get this current in the IC. So the total current will be summation of these two, and this can be written as V by Z. So total impedance will be 1 by Z equals to like that. In case of the resonance, this j component will be 0. That means there is no imaginary part, because the I and V is the same phase. That means there will be no phase difference. This I and V is the same in case of the in case of the in case of the resonance condition. This will be at resonance condition. These two are in the same. That means j component will be 0. So these two are equal. Finally you get this angular frequency. So if you want to find out the resonant frequency, this is nothing but omega naught by 2 pi this. And the impedance of the circuit will be like that, because 1 by Z equals to this, and Z component is 0. So this is 1 by Z. So Z equals to inverse of this. So this can be written this omega equals to omega naught. So put this value of omega naught, you will be finally get this frequency, that is the impedance, that is the L by RC. I think clear. If there is any doubt, you must comment in the comment box. Go to the next question, which says that is the circuit given here. This potential is 4 volt, this current is 2 ampere, this two resistance is given. Using Thevenin theorem, find out Thevenin equivalent voltage and the resistance of this terminal, and then find out the maximum power. So you can see here this there is the potential at these two terminal can be determined by the superposition theorem. At first, if you take this is not present, only this present, so due to this potential you will be get the potential difference at these 2 points, because this is a, if we eliminate this, total voltage actually appear here, because there is no voltage drop, because there is no current flow in this circuit. If you take this voltage source only, so the potential difference will be 4 volt. Now if you take this current source only, this is shorted, so this current produces the potential difference of this potential difference, that is the current into this resistance, that is gives you 4 volt again. So finally you got there is a voltage difference total 8 volt. So the and the Thevenin resistance is can be find out this R1 and R2, because this is a open and this is a shorted, because you know the for the current source, the internal resistance is infinity, and this voltage source internal resistance is 0. So that's why this is shorted and this is open, so from that point you will be get the equivalent resistance like that. So after obtaining this equivalent resistance, you can draw this Thevenin equivalent circuit. This is RTH 5 ohm and this is VTH 4 volt. So if you want to find out the potential, power, you know the power will be maximum when the output resistance is equal to the input resistance, internal resistance. The load resistance is equals to internal resistance, then the output, then the power will be maximum transfer. So this RL must be 5 ohm equals to that. So the power will be I square R, I equals to VTH by total resistance. Putting this value, will be get this expression 0.8. This is nothing but this is 0.8 watt. Clear? I think clear. If there is any doubt, you must comment in the comment box, or you can contact with me. This is all about me, and this is my contact details, and this is my YouTube channel details. Go to this channel, you will get there is various types of video regarding physics. Actually, you can watch this theoretical and problem set of the electrostatic magnetism, problem solution of electrodynamics by DJ Griffith, and problem solution of the electricity magnetism by Vasudev Ghosh also done some part. Okay, so you can go through this description box, you will be get this link, such that you can watch this video also. And there are some general mathematics solution and theoretical portion, and there are some competitive exam preparation. So you can go through the channel, you can go various type of video. If you want, you can watch them also. Like this session, share this video to your friends so that he or she also get benefit from this video. Subscribe this channel if you new in this channel, and those already subscribed, thanks for subscription, and press the bell icon to get the notification of upcoming video. So take care, we'll meet in the next video as soon as possible. Thank you.